Another great technique to reveal a lot of information on one page is to use object states. It's perfect for showing off work in a portfolio or to tell a story. So in this case, I'm on my typography page, and let me show you what this looks like when it's working. When I go to typography, I see these images, and these are the control buttons. I can flip back and forth and stay on the same page. So all of these images are multi-state. So again, you can group things. Anytime you want something to be an interactive piece, you just have to group it. Now in this case, I just put one example after another of typography, and then at the bottom, again, I used ChatGPT and I said, write, I kept for 75 words about Alvin Lustig's contribution to typography. Then I just started gathering examples of his type. I can find a bunch more, but I just, for now, when you're working on these, just get enough to get it working. This is a button that's red. I roll over and it's black. And you could put 100 of these. And again, it helps to have it very lined up. They do much better when they're really the same size and they're just flipping along in a clean way. So let me show you how you make one of those. So these are all in a multi-state. So let's go to interactive object states. And do you see each one of them is listed here? I'm going to say release all states to objects. Okay, so now there's no action. These are just objects. So the first thing I did is I lined all of these up. And again, you can use your align tool. Just the center alignment both ways. You can see it's not moving because it's already aligned. And then each one, you don't have to group them. You just set them on top of each other. And then you grab all of those images, center them so they're all nice and lined up. And then you go to Window, Interactive, Object States. And then you just click on this plus button at the bottom, and I had selected all of those. So don't forget, I'm going to go back. You got to swipe over all of those so they're all selected, they're all piled on top of each other, and then you hit the plus button, and now you have a multi-object state. So the only problem left is, how do you control it? They're all on top of each other, and you can see one at a time, but you need something to trigger it. So it doesn't matter what it is. I just did a simple triangle because that's very Alvin Lustig, kind of geometric and clean. So this is still a button, but it doesn't have the action now because I undid my multi-state object. It doesn't matter the name on these ones, so it can stay that way, or you can call it forward. But the action is go, instead of next page, you say go to next state. And then, of course, you want a rollover. And this one, of course, you can probably guess, would be go to previous state. And then it has a rollover. And that is all there is to it. So let's test that. So we set it up again, make sure it works. So you can imagine how cool it would be to be able to flip through a bunch of images without having to reload pages and pages and pages. So the best thing to do on these is to group all the images by a certain subject. So these images are all typography. So when you get to the type page, it talks generally, and then you're able to see one example after another with this multi-state. Now, if I wanted to add more, let's say you've built this with 3 or 4 just to make sure it works like I have, and then you want to go out and find more examples later, you can place another object there, get the alignment right first, and then with all of them selected, you're going to go to the object state, and you're just going to hit the plus. And now you see that state number 6 is that book cover. Okay, so it's pretty easy to bring in or take out any of these. You could just say delete state, or like I said, when you add an image, select them all and say plus. And of course, there's always really creative ways that you can use this. So use your imagination and have fun, and let me know if you get tangled up or need any help.